So Clarkson Farm season 2 episode 3. So things get interesting in this particular episode. I was shocked by how we got back to the ground after episode 2. We get a reality check. I got a reality check in terms of that this is a country and a country has laws. So they want to set up the restaurant, but in order to set up the restaurant, you need to go through actually commissions and different group of people to actually approve every single thing. And when I say every single thing, I mean from the effect of the little shop on the environment, to pollution, to cars, to trees, to what you cut down, to what will be planted, to the traffic, to everything. You know, Clarkson is in a very small village, a very conservative village, and these people don't like the noise. It looks like they do not like the noise that comes with celebrities and the drama of a lot of group of people coming into one place, because there was a lot of talk on the effects of having a group of people come to that particular village, the effect on traffic, the effect on the general landscape of that particular part of the land. Yeah, I know it's a very beautiful land, but the bureaucracy when it comes to the effects of just a small restaurant in a place like that was amazing to me. It was fascinating. And this, perhaps, you know, we watch a lot of reality shows, but we know that they're scripted, we know that what is happening is not real. But when you watch this show, it reminds you just what governance is. It brings you down to the ground. It reminds you what governance actually means. So in order for Clarkson, because they have to apply to set up the restaurant, and apart from the applying part, there are people who are still complaining about the shop, the Diddley Squad shop. They're saying that it's bringing a problem in terms of traffic and pollution, and the parking lot is a mess. So in order for them to apply and for the commission to actually approve their plan, they have to get the backing of the people in the small village. So what Clarkson does is that in this particular episode, he begins to butter up the people, you know, do get involved with the community, get to know the people, interact with the community, do stuff with the community so that the community can back him up when he presents his plan for the small shop. And there are very many interesting that he does. There's something about seeds. I didn't understand what the big deal was with the seeds. He actually gets to call, you know, a meeting with the local people and have a conversation with them. And I actually liked that, the fact that one of the best way to confront people is actually to just talk, to just bring in people and talk. But for that particular scene, the camera people are not allowed. So all we had is that Clarkson had sneaked in the microphone so we could hear what they were talking about, but we could not see what they were talking about. And it was generally interesting. It's one of those shows that reminds you about community, you know. There was a lot of football, you know. The Clarkson Diddley Squad shop actually sponsored a football club, and that was kind of cool. Funny, cool, and interesting to get to know the people around that village. Apart from the diplomacy drama, back to the nature of the show, there was a lot of... Clarkson bought 2 more dogs. He went back to cultivating, so now he's planting again, and he got a new machine which is now going to the core of what Clarkson Farm is, which is basically Clarkson messing around with big machines and making stupid mistakes. So we went back to that. At some point we saw Clarkson actually really, you know, under a lot of pressure, and I kind of enjoyed it. And you know, it's this show is very interesting. You know, I'm not a farmer and I've never been interested when it comes to farming. An episode like this actually showed me some things that I take for granted. Like, for example, you can buy a good tractor and then you get a good cultivating machine, but the machine, like in the case of this particular episode, the machine was too heavy, so you needed to have extra weight in front so that you can balance out everything. That's something I've never thought about. Then when you take out the machine to go plant, you can cultivate and do what you're supposed to do, but then when the fuel runs out, because the fuel had weight, the truck will go back to, you know, the front part will also lift because the balance is still effective. I mean, it's just so complicated. Why can't it just be easy? Why can't you just buy a truck, connect it to something and just... Anyway, there's a lot to learn, again, with this particular series when it comes to farming in general. You get to learn a bit more about Gerald, his past as a footballer. Gerald is a legend in that particular village, so you get to learn more about him and his past and what he used to be, and you see some of the pictures, and you know, these small things, you just slowly start getting invested in these side characters, these side people who are real. Actually, they're not just characters, they're real people. So yeah, this episode was an eye-opener. I don't know where the series is going, but if it's going that way, well, it would be intriguing to see just how much control the government has on what happens in terms of the land and what a farmer has the right to do with the space that they own. So yeah, thanks for watching. That was episode 3 of Clarkson Farm. See you on episode 4.